We're going to Las Vegas, the city of sin.
Woo!
Unfortunately, not for fun. And some sinners are worse than others. This is Hold My Sweet Tea. Welcome to Hold My Sweet Tea, where the worst of the worst is brought to light these days, it seems. I'm Pearl.
And I'm Holly.
But are you sure?
But am I?
Are you sure?
I think so.
I'm not. I don't know who I am either. We're getting to that part of our job where things get crazy.
A little hazy.
Yeah. So my ADHD is like full throttle.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm having to wrangle cats inside my head, trying to make sure I get everything done before
Yes. Same.
before the circus begins.
And
The
then,
summer circus.
last week was just a really wild week. And it's I blame it on the Aries energy. Because
Yeah.
I was a raging damn bitch last week. I even had to apologize. I was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me.
And I'm like, it's whatever. I'm used to it. I just roll with it. That's why the one time you got a little snippy with me, I was like, let me finish.
Right? I'm like, am I a raging bitch all the time? No.
No. I just know there are pop-in moments, and I fully expect them when we get around summer. I think summer brings it out, even if
it does.
Even if it has nothing to do with Aries.
No, I am very calm and just the vibe on the outside. I don't show my emotion at all, except my distaste for people on my face, but
yeah,
it seeps out occasionally. So then, I have to wrangle it in because I can't hold it in as much.
Or the moments where she's stressed out and she says my name. We don't usually say each other's name. We just talk.
Right. I can't, Pearl.
Then I go, all right now.
Right.
Don't make me smack you, okay? Calm down.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
Yep. I just let it roll though. I'm so flexible when it comes to stuff like that with certain people.
Yeah.
There are
other people you're like, no, I'm gonna hit you.
That shit ain't riding. So you better hope you're on my good list of people that I'll take it from, and then there's people that won't.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I really am. It just some of it seeps out occasionally, but for the most part, I'm okay. But last week, I don't know what was going on.
Last week was just a week.
Yep.
Everything was everywhere. Baby stuff was happening.
Yeah, but he's so cute.
He is so cute. And he's cluster feeding. And he's pissed off.
Oh, yeah. That's that Aries energy right
Pretty
there.
much all the time. He's just mad.
He's mad.
He makes grumpy face really well.
Mm-hmm. He does. He has the most expressive little features, even when he's sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what you thinking about there, boy?
He's like, I'm thinking about how earlier I was trying to eat more and Mom put me to sleep.
Right. Wouldn't let me. Now I'm mad. I'm going to tell her when I get up.
Right.
All about it.
And then he does.
Yep.
An hour later, I'm still hungry. And I always think it's really funny, too, when he cries and he's in full throttle cry.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Amma!" And I was like, look, it's your fault.
Yep. He's already saying, Ma. That's right. That is right. They always mad at their mama.
It's always our fault.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we're like, the whole reason you're alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
So we're going to Vegas today?
Yeah, I know it's not the South, but it's still hot.
Oh, God. It's like smack you in the face like you open an oven hot.
Yes, it is. Cooking people hot.
Yeah.
We are not going into a story about people getting cooked, though.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I just want to clear that up. I don't want to get anyone excited about that. That's not what's happening.
All right.
So, remember we talked about Louisiana and all their castration law and, all the child molesters. I did, by the way, watch the, which one was that? The False Prophet.
Yes.
That one. I watched that one.
But
I have not watched the other one yet, but I did watch that one.
Yes.
So.
It's insanity.
Oh my gosh.
You're like, how can people literally sit there and go, yep, this is the way to go. This is what I'm doing. And then watch it crumble around them and still stay there.
Yeah. And then actually go to jail over this stuff and still come out like,
yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Yep.
So we're going to talk about Nathan chasing horse or Nathan chasing his horse. Remember I brought him up.
That's right.
In the last little thing. So I wanted to make sure that I made good on my promise to talk about it, since I was like, we'll go more into that on a whole separate episode, because there's a lot. He actually had been indicted by a grand jury in 2023, and then the court dismissed all of it because of some dumb stuff, which we'll talk about shortly. But I was like, gah. I was really worried because I had followed a lot of this stuff that he was that was gonna be it. He was gonna get away with it, but a grand jury indicted him again.
Oh, well, that's good.
So, thank goodness for that.
Yeah,
because y'all, Indigenous women have it bad.
Oh yeah,
as it were.
Mm-hmm.
And to have to fear people in your own community like that. Not just people outside the reservation coming and doing bad things to them. People right there that are supposed to be protecting them. I mean, it happens everywhere at this point. I mean, it happens in everyone's house. So why would this be any different?
And also the reservation, they have their own police force.
They do.
Which is insane that they're not taking up for their people.
Right. Well, in January, we're going to kind of start from the end and work our way backwards. In January, a Nevada jury convicted Nathan Chasing Horse of sexually assaulting Indigenous women and girls. He actually was found guilty of 13 of 21 charges that he was facing. Most of those guilty verdicts centered around a specific victim who was actually 14 years old when he began assaulting her. He was acquitted of some sexual assault charges when the main victim was older and had lived with him and his other companions. By this I mean he also had several wives, or wives I say in quotations because you can't marry more than one person.
Yeah.
But
entered into some kind of
yes, wifey cult type thing. So he is 49 years old. His sentencing was supposed to be scheduled for March 11th. It got moved to April 27th because he did try to get all this appealed. I want to have these verdicts evacuated. Well, no, that's not going to happen.
No.
So it did not. He tried. It did not. But it's good to note that he's also charged with other sex crimes in other states and even in Canada.
What?
Yes.
So he's just all over the place
Yeah.
doing stuff.
British Columbia prosecutors actually suspended their case in 2023 because of the case in the United States. So they were like, well, I guess we're going to take a back seat and let you deal. So that verdict was like the climax of several years long of effort to prosecute this man.
Mm-hmm.
He was very first arrested and indicted in 2023, like we talked about. But like I said, that didn't go through because of something to do with prosecution, which I have that written in here later. They said that Nathan Chasing Horse used his reputation as a Lakota medicine man to prey on Indigenous women and girls. So let's talk about that stuff. So I told you guys in my last episode that he had been in Dances with Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And he had actually, he was a child during that time himself. But I want to get into some of the victims. And we're not going to touch on all of them, but we're going to touch on the important one, especially since so many of those charges were wrapped around the younger girl.
Right.
So we're going to start with this younger girl's mother. In 1996, Melissa is her name. She had found out that she was a descendant of the Lakota tribe. So she had been adopted out, but she really wanted to connect with, the Native American tribe that she was a part of. She said, quote, "I was grabbing a hold of any and all connections that felt good or safe." And she thought she had found that when a relative of hers had actually recommended that she talk to this self-proclaimed medicine man, Nathan Chasing Horse. He had traveled North America during his adulthood performing healing ceremonies.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2005, Melissa, who also had a 7-year-old daughter, attended one of these rituals. And she said that she witnessed Chasing Horse connecting with ancestral spirits. She said it was like he turned the lights on in a dark room. It all just felt like she belonged there. He was very charming.
Right, made her feel very
So
comfortable.
she felt safe and comfortable and like this is exactly what she was looking for. So eventually she would become part of Chasing Horse's group, which is called The Circle, and she would attend healing ceremonies and had gone into remission several times because she was diagnosed repeatedly having had cancer.
Yeah.
And so she attributed some of this healing, obviously, to these rituals.
She's like, this is fantastic.
Yes. She literally said he could say, ask, or do anything, and there was no wrong. But that's also where everything went bad.
Mm.
That belief that he actually had healing powers that he gained via ancestral spiritual contact is what helped make it easy for him to prey on people. It allowed him to sexually abuse minors, including Melissa's daughter. He had initially pled not guilty. And I just thought that was crazy.
Yeah.
And, they were saying, like, he seems to have operated like a cult. And there was a lot of underreported sexual and violent exploitation of Native American women. Melissa and others say that this indictment is more than him just facing justice for his alleged sexual abuse. This shows his behavior of sexually abusing people, manipulating adults, and like just bringing to light a much larger problem of people who are in higher positions taking advantage of those that they see are beneath them.
Yeah. They gain that
So
trust
anyone
and,
he's offered to heal, and like it even brings to light even more that police aren't doing enough to stop these things from happening. So Melissa says, quote, "This is about medicine people and all Indian country exploiting their people under the guise of spirituality. That must end."
So it's like he felt entitled.
Right, like he should be allowed to do this because
healer.
he's this guy. Yeah. Yep.
No, sir.
Now, keep in mind, he has spoke at powwows around the country. Like, there's websites for places that he's been and talked and all of that with his picture still up. And I mean, if I were those places, I'd be taking it down at this point. But, at a 2013 Fort Mojave tribe gathering, Chasing Horse had actually shared with the circle how doctors had diagnosed his own mother with terminal throat cancer and told the family that they should get, prepare, say your goodbyes. She's not going to be here very long. This is terminal, stage 4, end of life. Y'all, make final preparations. But he says they then held a ceremony during which a messenger in that ceremony told her she would live. It is said that when she returned to her doctors, she was showing that she was cancer-free. So he's using this as an example, saying, this is how this works. Right. My own mother was supposed to die from cancer, and she didn't.
Her, yeah.
Yes. So he explains to them how ceremonial whistles, healing powers, work. Chasing Horse, quote, says, "The purpose of blowing this whistle is you're going to give a part of your life to that person you're blowing for. So be sure that you mean it, because your life will be shortened a few years. If you don't do it from your heart, maybe they'll take your whole life. That's the exchange." So in order for these people to gain healing, he's saying you're giving part of what you would have lived, right, in order to make them better, so they can live longer. And in some cases, if you don't do this right, you could just be taken completely in place of them. These are the kind of fears that he consistently pushed into his followers, like trying to make them afraid so he could have more control. There's a man named Fernando who from 2006 until 2014 was also part of this circle. And he says that, like, at its peak, 300 members. 300 people
followed him.
And
he's this medicine man healer, yeah.
He felt, singled out and kind of special because Chasing Horse asks him to travel with him.
And because he thinks, this is a good guy, yeah.
And Fernando could sing, and he really liked that about him. And Fernando said, I really felt honored that I got to know somebody
Yeah.
like that and got to be asked to do this thing. But then he says he starts seeing how Chasing Horse would womanize and convince people to give him their money.
Con artist.
Right. So Fernando says, quote, let's say you need help in some way and the doctors ain't trying to do much for you.
Yeah.
You might say, hey, I think I want to go to a healer. He says Chasing Horse was able to manipulate a lot of people by portraying himself as this ultimate healer.
Yes.
Like he's somebody with spiritual connections that other people don't have, like other medicine men don't have. Like this is him. Like he's all powerful.
Right. And he's also preying on their religious beliefs because, the spiritual part of it.
And you remember that Melissa has had cancer several times. Well, in 2013, she's diagnosed with cancer again. At this point, her daughter's 14 years old, and her name is Ren. They travel to Las Vegas to ask Chasing Horse for his help. And this is all in court record. She prepares him a meal and a pipe. This is the 14-year-old daughter doing this. Because she is asking him to please help my mother.
My mom, yeah.
Because remember, it's a life for a life. So someone who's well needs to ask for your healing.
Right.
So she does all of this stuff for him. He takes her into his bedroom closet where he reminds her that it's a life for a life. And in this instance, it would mean taking her firstborn and her virginity.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't think I need to tell you what happened in there. So he does that, and then he takes her with him on the road. And he repeats this offense every night.
I was going to say, he probably continued it because he was like, oh, well, here's an opportunity for me.
He continues to sexually abuse Ren for years. And in 2015, the Fort Peck tribe in Montana actually had banned Chasing Horse from holding ceremonies on their reservation because there was allegations of human trafficking, drug dealing, spiritual abuse, and intimidation of tribal members. There's another supporter of Chasing Horse that said she actually sought out Chasing Horse only because there was no other legitimate medicine men around the reservation, and the local ones had all served time in prison for sex crimes.
So it seems like it was the thing to do.
So if you're a medicine man, you're doing bad things. And like, there's a whole National Institute of Justice study from 2016 that said more than 4 in 5 American Indian and Alaskan Native women have experienced violence, and more than half have experienced sexual violence.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And they're overlooked as a human being almost.
Right. So I mean, there's several medicine men that have been convicted of sexual assault in many different tribes. So don't think that this is like a one-off.
Right.
Chasing Horse is the only guy. No, he just happened to travel around and do it.
He made himself known because he was in Dancing with Wolves.
Right.
Cool, bro.
Not really.
No.
So at the age of 16, which is the age of consent in Nevada, Ren told her mom she wanted to become one of Chasing Horse's spiritual wives. Chasing Horse tells Melissa nothing had happened between them ever. And that's why they were here asking her permission for him to take her on as a spiritual wife. Melissa tells ABC News that she looked at it as an honor. And when she told me that she loved him, that was enough. Like, she was just going to let her daughter have what she wanted. She said she had not been aware that he had done all of that stuff to his daughter, and actually threatened her that if she said anything to anyone about it, her mother would die.
Oh, goodness.
And until he became one of her wives, she had no idea that he had also regularly been beating her.
That's so crazy. And then the girl's like so afraid that her mom will die.
That she's going to do whatever he wants because of her mother. He's holding her mother over her head. Now, Melissa had heard other allegations, but she would recall, quote, he would always have evidence to justify that what the victims were saying was not true. I'm not ignorant, but the brainwashing and the spiritual manipulation he uses to control each one of us is in there. I didn't understand what happened to me. And Fernando said he actually leaves the circle because he learned about the sexual abuse.
Yeah, he was like, bro, I'm not having any part of this.
Right.
I'm not going down for your
and
abusing underage girls.
Right. And he says that even one of the girls that he found out was being abused had become kind of like his niece. Like, this girl was calling him Uncle Fernando.
Yeah.
He said that he had tried to leave before 2014, but Chasing Horse did the same to him. Fear-mongering.
Mm-hmm.
If you leave this circle, your family's going to die. You know? And that's basically what he's holding over everyone. You have to stay here or your loved ones are going to die.
I hold the power to your loved ones' lives, so you have to listen to me and stay here and do what I say.
Right. So in 2023, 8 years after he was banished from Fort Peck, Las Vegas police arrest him at the home he shared with his 5 spiritual wives. And the Associated Press reported that Chasing Horse told his wives to shoot it out with police if they ever tried to break their family apart. Las Vegas police had found video of him having sex with a minor and sexual photos of a young girl. I was like,
I'm so sick of men.
So this is where I tell you that the Nevada judge, the reason he dismissed the case was, quote unquote, improper instruction to the grand jury. But like I said, he gets indicted again in 2024. Literally, when all this happened and Melissa gets her daughter back away from Chasing Horse and tells her mom about everything that happened, she said, but Mom, this is the reason why you're not sick. Like,
she actually believed.
She actually believed that was why.
Be like, no, baby, that's not it at all.
No. I was like, how sad is that?
Yeah. Extremely.
So, the Tsuut'ina Nation Police Service in Alberta, which is where there's a warrant for his arrest on multiple charges of sexual exploitation and sexual assault. They have issued like a news release following his conviction, stating that they're like monitoring the situation and that the warrant for Chasing Horse's arrest remains active. So they may, there's a chance they may seek extradition.
Yeah.
They said that the verdict is a significant step towards justice for the survivors and a testament to their courage. We wish to recognize and commend all of the survivors who have come forward, as well as those who continue to do so. Your bravery in sharing your stories is vital in holding individuals accountable and ensuring the safety of our communities.
Well, I hope that they at least get some kind of, justice from that. I know it's not going to take away what he did to everybody, but
Right.
at least it'll keep him from doing it to others. And I just don't understand the whole, like, men seeing little girls as some kind of sexual object.
Right.
It's disgusting.
And I'm just glad that a jury did find him guilty
Mhm.
of at least 13 of the 21 counts. 10 of those counts actually include sexual assault with a minor.
Yes.
And some of those counts carry life sentences, but he has not been sentenced yet. He's supposed to be in court on April 27th, the day this comes out,
Okay.
for sentencing. So we'll watch and see if it happens.
Get a little update.
And then we'll let you know how that goes. And what's so sad is, I mean, I feel for these victims and everything else. I also feel for the jury who had to witness prosecutors play the video of him sexually abusing one of the child victims.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
because they have to see all of that stuff.
Like, all of this stuff that they're being exposed to. It's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he still faces warrants in Montana as well as Canada. So, we'll see where all that goes, too.
Yeah. I'm interested in seeing how it plays out.
I'm sure there will be updates on that stuff as well. But that was the story I was talking about when we were talking about castration in Louisiana. Maybe Las Vegas needs to pick up on that.
Maybe.
Just saying.
Yeah. A little castration in the desert.
I mean, so many other things happen in the desert.
Right.
All the mob bosses, bodies in Lake Mead, and
they're like, oh, what's this that popped up?
Oh, look, another one. So yeah, sad world we live in where people can't keep their hands off of kids.
I know.
It's disgusting.
It is.
Or, can't live their life like everyone else without being culty and weird.
I know. I'm like, I just,
I
don't understand.
I can't stand having one spouse. Why do you want five?
Why do you want multiples? But also, like, why do you think that you're entitled to manipulate people just because you can into believing that you're some healer or messiah or speaker of God or something?
It's legitimately maniacal.
And then the people who literally, like, believe this.
The people who follow them because they believe they're this all-powerful person.
I need to look in to see, is there, like, a study where they actually interview those people and get into their psyche?
Yeah.
Because
to figure out what
type
makes
of
you
person,
vulnerable to that sort of situation. Yeah. That would be interesting.
It would be. I'm going to have to look that up and see, because what type of person does it take to, get into a cult?
Yeah.
Because me, I'm too fucking mean. I'll be like, bitch, I'm joining your goddamn cult.
Well, and you know me, I'm like, somebody tells me to do something or tells me I can't do something, and I'm like, oh yeah?
Watch this.
So there's no me following you, because I'm probably like, I'm going to do this.
So you're saying I have to marry Jebediah? No.
You must be crazy.
My only life purpose is to get married and have babies? No.
Yep. Whatever you say I'm supposed to do, I'm not going to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been that way since I was a kid.
Same. Like, don't tell me what to do.
I definitely march to my own beat.
Yep.
So, and most people who know me know I'm like that. My dad was like, you were such a pain in the butt with that.
Stubborn.
Yeah. But it is what it is. You know who else marches to their own beat?
And makes amazing beats at that.
Yes. Patty Salzetta.
Yep.
She's the one.
She is the one.
So, and we thank her for our theme music. Every time.
Every time.
It's been over a year of thanking her.
I know.
For this theme music.
And we come up with the most interesting ways. We always segue into Patty.
Somehow. Somehow.
Yep.
And if you guys have anything you want to share with us for Sweet Tea After Dark, or just any comments about an episode we've talked about recently, it doesn't even have to be this one, please reach out to us at holdmysweetteapodcast@gmail.com or on any social media platform.
And we did get a little comment about the Tate Rowland episode.
Yeah, we got some fan mail, which we can now reply to, which is amazing.
Yes. So I'm not sure how to reply to it, but
we're going to figure it out.
But
we appreciate it, and we're going to conversate.
Not the technical part of it. I just have to think of how I need to reply to it.
Yes.
I know how to, hit reply.
Yes. It was definitely an ask for more information.
Right.
So that was cool.
Right. Yep. And, you guys send in your Sweet Tea After Dark stuff because we haven't got an episode. We were on a roll.
Yeah,
we were on a roll.
So good.
So this week's episode is going to be me doing a cryptid. Yay.
Because we're waiting.
Yep.
Impatiently for your story.
Yep. Even if it's just a little short one, just send it.
Yep. We can mix it in with something else like a cryptid.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
So, as always, Hold My Sweet Tea is a Drunken Bee production.
Bzz.
And you guys remember to stay safe out there. Stay away from cults. And just because we're dipping doesn't mean you can't keep sipping. Bye.